Hail, traveler.
Aldmar gives you an appraising eye. Judging by the scars on his face, he's lucky to be able to do that much. Every day we get more from the hinterlands pouring into Defiance Bay. Keeps us busy on the watch, it does. You look like you're recently arrived yourself. Who are you? Soldier of the Crucible Knights, and proud of it. I help keep everything running at the keep so that Commander Cliver can focus on more important matters. Looking for something or just knocking the dirt off your boots? What goes on in Crucible Keep? This is the headquarters of the Crucible Knights, so it's where we store arms and armor, as well as many of our soldiers' bunks. Tell me about the Crucible Knights. Wait, let's see. Commander Clyde's in the back making plans as usual. You'll find the forge at the west end of the building, along with our master smith, Dunstan. There's also a shrine in the golem. To the golem, if you're the praying type. Tell me about the Crucible Knights. Excuse me. We're the defenders of Defiance Bay. We're not exactly a former knighthood, but don't tell Commander Clive I said that. He grins. We were the first organized militia to oppose Adrian rule, and today we're the largest force in the city. Our soldiers undergo years of combat training, and our officers are required to have their souls read by the critter out in Dunrid Row. What's this about Dunrid Row? Just a requirement of the Crucible Knights, so the higher-ups know there's nothing messy built in your soul's past. Aldmar widens his stance. Keeping the ranks pure is fine by me. I just wish they were more careful in hiring these ciphers. What's going on with their ciphers? He shifts his weight and glances at the empty halls. They're mostly Orleans. I'm sure they're talented enough, but you just can't trust them. Hostility in their nature, and they've learned to hide it over the years. He frowns and crosses his arms. All I'm saying is, they should at least be supervised by other folks. That's reasonable enough, isn't it? Sounds fair enough. Exactly, but it seems like you can hardly make a simple statement like that without someone wanting to draw steel over it. That's all. See ya.
If this is about the breastplates, I already told Cleaver they won't be repaired till next week.
Show him the piece of the blade from the Endless Past. I found several fragments of an ancient sword. Do you think you could repair it? That's a fine blade indeed. He holds one fragment in his rough hands. Looks Adrian, special made. Must have been a commission for a champion of some sort. Hands the shard back to you. Sword of this caliber would have had a specially designed hilt too. It'd be a shame to graft anything else onto it, and besides, it'll balance best with all the original pieces. You'll find the rest of it. I'll forge it for you.
I'm a forge master. I'm a master smith for the Crucible Knights. But the way I see it, I'm also keeping up with our old traditions. The first members of our order were smiths. Nowadays, most everyone's a professional soldier. I suppose it's to be expected, but I think it's important we keep up with our roots, too.
Tell me about the knights.
We were all smiths back in Hodred's day, though I'm about the only one here who still gets his hands dirty. We're a fearsome fighting force. Though these days I think Cleaver takes more pride in our parade formations.
He thinks himself a progressive man, but he's obsessed with soul lineages and connections to the Direwood heroes of old. He picks up his hammer again. Other than Dunrid, bro, who really knows about any of that, though? The grieving mother's expression as she looks at Dunstar is somewhere between amusement and pity. Both live in the past of their own imagining. What purpose does it serve when so much depends on action now? The Justicar's glaze flicks over to you briefly before returning to the novitiates gathered in the training area. If this is about patrols, my novitiates are already stretched to their limit. Between the refugee influx and the mess at Heritage Hill, I simply don't have any units to spare. After a pause, she looks over at you again. I'm sorry. Was there something else you need? Is something wrong at Heritage Hill? She lowers her voice. What isn't wrong is the real question. A whole district of walking, flesh-eating corpses. We sealed the area 2 months ago, just after I lost one of my finest commanders there, and yet this is the second guard rotation to disappear. There are already enough rumors about the place floating around the keep without my soldiers whispering about these disappearances. She shakes her head. I'd just as soon abandon the district, but if those monsters should find a way out, I could look into it. She steps back and regards you. After what I just told you, you want to go to Heritage Hill? I've lost trained soldiers there. Why should I let anyone in? If people are disappearing, someone's got to figure out what's happening to them. If you're so eager to rush to your death, I won't stop you. She quietly looks on at the novitiates, and if you're somehow able to put a stop to this, you've got my permission to enter Heritage Hill. I'll send word to the guards at the gate. Tell me about Heritage Hill. Used to be one of the most prestigious districts in Defiance Bay, but a few months ago the residents all went mad, started eating each other, and anything else that had the bad luck to wander into the district. I've never seen anything like it. Now, every novitiate that stands guard there, everyone that's come back anyway, talks of the stench of the grave and the groans of unspeakable horrors. She holds up one plate-clad finger. The why and the how are questions for the animancers. I've sealed the district in hopes of containing whatever happens there. It seems to be working for now. If there's nothing else, I must attend to my duties. What do you do here? I'm in charge of the keep's novitiates. I'm responsible for their training and patrol assignments. She nods at the groups gathered in the training hall. They're good soldiers, and they've been quick to adapt to new challenges. Well, let's see. Looks like we can go over to... Let's talk to him real quick. No, nothing to say. Okay. Heritage Hill now. Oops. There we go. Is this all explored? Let's see. I don't think we've been in here yet. Looks like we might leave something at the altar later. So let's leave.
Come now, it'll be fun.
No.
Even just a single...
I'm not calling Isilmir out just so you can learn he'll speak. I'll write down a few words.
Let's see what Eder wants to talk about before we go.
Strange place for a shrine to Abidan, Crucible Keep. Maybe it made more sense at some point before it gathered all that dust. The only thing the Knights of the Crucible worship these days is the nobility, as far as I understand it.
I knew some soldiers who got recruited by the knights after the war was over. They told me some about it. They get these young kids in there and they'll tell them about blacksmithing and about the revolution and about tradition. Talk about the golem like he created the Crucible Knights in his forge to go win Direwood's independence. Then they join, and it turns out all any of those knights ever talks about is when are we gonna get recognized as a real knighthood? When are we getting our titles and our land? Their High Justice wants to be an earl, says it's Abidan's will. He's got a castle and an army. You wonder how long he'll wait before he starts a war over it, says Abidan told him to. They don't seem all bad. They're keeping peace in Defiance Bay. There is the kernel of something good in there. I think some good people wanting to do right by each other. Trouble is, they're headed away from it. Heritage Hill. Now I can enter.
Good day, stranger.
Wayland sent me. I'm looking into the missing guards. So you're the one she sent word about. The guard looks you up and down, frowning, as expecting her to send in a whole squad of justicers. Not that I'm volunteering, mind you. I'll have the gate open immediately. Just watch your step. I'm afraid we can't send anyone after you if this goes badly. Any idea what might have happened to the other guards? None. And I've no desire to find out. If you catch my meaning, the ones that disappeared weren't the deserting type. The worst part is, both times the watch disappeared, the next rotation found the gate unlocked. I don't know whether they went in or whether something got out. But if it's the latter, refugees are going to be the least of our problems. See or hear anything unusual? Friend, I only see and hear as little as possible. One of the women on the last watch said she heard someone shouting from the northeast parts of the district. Something that sounded like an order, but I don't see how anyone could survive in there. Once or twice I've caught a glimpse of something moving on the other side of the gate, guard shutters. I'd just as soon forget it. Farewell.
The dead here. Still
May
work.
they sail this way to
Violent.
Ow.
This isn't working.
Get those wizards.
Not getting through me.
Attack! May they sail.
Here we go. We got this.
Of course.
Can turn off fast mode. That didn't help much. Not good. We needed a camping supply. I forgot to grab some more. Sell that. Some shrooms.
A simple test. That's settled.
May they sail Miss May to.
Ah, where is this?
Of course.
May they sail Miss May.
You're not getting through me.
Oh, attack! May they sail Miss May to.
I can do that. That's settled.
An amulet. Ten defense against spells. Place his A little bit better, I think. Crosshat's claws marked scores on this vault.
Wayfarer, sailors may to. Wayfarer, sailors may to.
I wonder how good Kana's new marksman spell is doing compared to how it was.
Of course.
Not spell, but ability. Looks like we can go down there. Or at least go in there. What is this? Let's go see what Lyra. A woman turns when you enter. Her wide pale eyes shine like lamps in the darkness of the tomb. 4 crucible knights hover nearby, their gaze expression fixed on her. Reinforcements at last. I hope you've come armed, because we've got to get out of here. Something about her seems hazy and unsubstantial. Even in the darkness of the tomb. Insubstantial. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but you're already dead. Her eyes grow cold and hard. You'd better explain yourself, and quickly. You're a ghost, and you've been luring Crucible Knights here to their deaths. She freezes in place, hovering in the air. No, that's impossible. It's only been... It can't be... The other side of the tomb is visible through her gaping mouth. She looks at her hands, seemingly for the first time, turning them in front of her. As her eyes and her mouth widen in horror, she turns to you. What have you done to me? Her expression hardens, and the Crucible Knights behind her stir. Noviots, attack!
Lava.
You might need some assistance here.
The flesh is still.
I knew he was gonna go down. Let's get some.
Aye?
Where is? I'm thinking of you. Is it this? This one. Who are we attacking even? I hate when it gets piled up into a big bunch. Let's see. That one maybe?
Yes?
Still. Wait.
Chunks of meat. So is this?
Now this I
Yep.
haven't seen
Thought so.
before.
Trap detected. Can we disable it? Good. Oh, nothing good. Sell value, hide a low. Okay, let's pair a shield and the best sword. We've learned all these, right? Yeah, just sell those. Is this a two-handed sword? So at least compare the shield first. One -8 accuracy, but gives you 16 deflection. So I wonder if that comes out to the same. It's just 8 deflection.